Let me start with a bold truth. Success is not something you chase, it's something you attract by the person you become. You don't have to beg for opportunities. You don't need to wait for a big break. The most magnetic force on this planet is a person who knows who they are, where they're going, and refuses to be anything less than their highest potential. The key to success isn't in some secret strategy or hidden formula. It lies in you, in your mindset, in the invisible engine that drives your choices every day. Before we talk about becoming the kind of person who attracts success, we have to understand what success really is. Most people are chasing someone else's definition. Society has fed us this narrative that success means having more money, more status, more recognition. But what if real success isn't about what you have, but about who you're becoming? What if success is living in alignment with your values, with your vision, with your purpose? What if success is the feeling of peace when you wake up in the morning, knowing you're on the right path? When you define success on your terms, you give yourself permission to live your own story, not a copy of someone else's. But redefining success is only the first step. You also have to believe that you are worthy of it. That's where so many people get stuck. They want the result, but doubt they're the kind of person who can create it. You see, your life is always moving in the direction of your strongest beliefs. If deep down you believe you're average, then no matter how hard you work, your results will reflect that identity. But if you believe you're capable, valuable, powerful, your actions shift, your posture changes, your courage multiplies. You don't attract what you want, you attract what you believe. So if you want to attract bigger results, start by upgrading your self-image. Now here's a powerful mindset shift. Take full ownership of everything in your life, not just the things you're proud of, but also the things you'd rather blame someone else for. That's right, your habits, your results, your energy, your direction. Own it all. Because success runs from people who point fingers, but it runs toward people who say, I'm in charge of my life. Excuses and self-doubt? Let them go. They are dead weight on your journey. Every time you say, I don't have time, or I'm not ready yet, what you're really saying is, I'm choosing to stay small. But deep down, you were never meant for small. You were built to rise. You were built to stretch. The most successful people feel fear too, but they don't bow to it. They don't let fear dictate their schedule. Instead, they act with courage, knowing that growth and fear often live in the same room. If you're waiting to be ready, you'll wait forever. If you're waiting for fear to disappear, you'll miss your moment. Take the leap. Trust the process. Let action build your confidence. One trait that sets high achievers apart is clarity of vision. They know what they want and why they want it. They aren't easily distracted by the noise of the world because their inner compass is strong. In contrast, many people are just reacting, scrolling, comparing, drifting through life without direction. But when you have vision, you have focus. You protect your time. You protect your energy. And that focus becomes magnetic. People can feel it. Opportunities are drawn to it. The clearer you are on where you're going, the faster life moves in your favor. What's happening around you is always a reflection of what's happening inside you. That's why working on your mindset is not optional. It's essential. If your thoughts are full of doubt, anxiety, and scarcity, Your outer world will match that. But if your inner world is filled with belief, gratitude, and purpose, that too will be mirrored back to you. You want to attract abundance. Start by cultivating it inside. You want to attract peace. Learn to create it within yourself. That's not self-help talk. That's reality. You are a magnet, and your inner frequency sets the tone for what shows up in your life. And here's one more powerful truth. Stop being only a consumer of life. If all you do is watch others, follow others, admire others, you're playing small. But the moment you decide to step into the role of creator, everything changes. Write that post. Start that business. Share that idea. Build that project. Contribute. Create value. When you do, people notice. The world responds. Because creators attract success. Leaders attract opportunities. Value attracts attention. And trust me, the people winning in life aren't more lucky than you.
Then a shift to time management, because here's something people misunderstand. Time is not your most valuable asset. Your attention is. Because where your attention goes, your time follows. If you can't manage your focus, it doesn't matter how many hours you have. People who attract success guard their attention fiercely. They plan their priorities. They batch their tasks. They minimize distraction. They don't let their phone dictate their direction. Success loves structure. Freedom flows from discipline. And don't underestimate the power of small wins. Many people wait to celebrate until they hit some massive goal. But people who attract success celebrate progress. They track their wins. They feel momentum even in tiny steps. Why? Because momentum is addictive. Every small victory rewires your brain to believe, I'm moving forward, I'm growing, I'm doing this. That energy, that belief, it's magnetic. Another underrated habit is reflection. Taking time weekly or even daily to ask, what worked, what didn't, what can I do better? This simple habit separates those who repeat the same mistakes from those who grow rapidly. Reflection turns experience into wisdom, and wisdom is one of the most attractive traits a person can develop. Now, let's get real. Building these habits takes effort. It takes commitment. But the reason most people struggle isn't because they're lazy. It's because they're trying to rely on willpower alone. Don't do that. Willpower is a limited resource. What you need instead are systems. Create environments that support your success. If you want to read more, keep a book on your pillow. If you want to work out, lay your gym clothes out the night before. If you want to stay focused, turn off notifications and use timers. Make success easier by designing your life around it. And while we're talking about life design, here's a powerful truth. Your habits shape your identity, and your identity reinforces your habits. It's a cycle. When you start acting like a healthy person, you begin to see yourself as one. When you behave like a leader, you start to embody leadership. And once you see yourself that way, it becomes easier to maintain those habits. So stop saying, I'm trying to be more productive. Say instead, I am a focused, disciplined person. Own that identity. Your habits will rise to meet it. Let's not forget the role of energy. Your energy is your most powerful asset. If you want to attract success, you must protect your physical, mental, and emotional energy. That means getting enough sleep. That means moving your body, eating well, taking breaks, setting boundaries. Energy isn't just about being hyper, it's about being present. And presence is powerful. When you show up fully, whether in a conversation, a meeting, or a creative task, people notice. They feel it. The world responds to people who are alive, awake, and intentional. The last habit I want to share in this section is this. Do one hard thing every day. Challenge yourself on purpose.
Whether it's making a tough call, pushing your workout, learning something uncomfortable, or speaking up when you're nervous, lean into difficulty, because ease does not equal growth, and growth is what attracts greatness. When you consistently do hard things, you become stronger, more resilient, more confident, and that inner strength, it radiates, it pulls opportunities to you. People are drawn to it. The universe respects it. To bring this part home, remember, you are not what you say you'll do. You are what you do consistently. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be intentional. Your habits are the most honest prediction of your future. If they align with your goals, success becomes inevitable. But if they contradict your goals, you'll keep feeling stuck, no matter how much you want it. So, build habits that reflect the person you're becoming. Design a lifestyle that supports your vision. Start small, stay consistent, and stay committed to growth. Because once your habits match your dreams, success doesn't just visit, it stays. Let's get something straight. Energy is everything. It's not just about how loud you speak, how fast you move, or how much caffeine you've had. Your energy is deeper. It's emotional. It's spiritual. It's the frequency you emit when you walk into a room, even before you say a word. You've felt it before. You meet someone and just feel drawn to them. It's not because of how they look or what they say. It's because of how they make you feel. That's magnetic energy. And here's the best part. You can build it. First, let's talk about internal energy. This is where it all begins. You can't radiate positivity and confidence if your inner world is full of chaos. So start by mastering your inner state. Ask yourself daily, what energy am I carrying right now? What do I want to radiate into the world today? If your default setting is frustration, scarcity, or anxiety, that's what others will feel from you, even if you smile on the surface. But if your default is gratitude, purpose, and peace, you become the kind of person people want to follow, work with, and support. And don't underestimate the power of gratitude, not as some cheesy feel-good practice, but as a serious strategy for increasing your vibration. Gratitude grounds you. It expands your perspective. It shifts your energy from lack to abundance, and abundance attracts. Start and end each day by listing what you're grateful for. Speak it, feel it, live it. Gratitude isn't about ignoring your struggles. It's about refusing to let them steal your power. When you carry a grateful heart, you send a signal to the world that says, I'm open, I'm ready, I'm worthy of more. Next, let's talk about your emotional state. People with magnetic energy know how to manage their emotions. That doesn't mean they suppress them. It means they don't let their emotions control their actions. If you're constantly reactive, snapping at people, gossiping, getting jealous, you're leaking energy. You're repelling the very things you want. But when you become emotionally intelligent, when you can pause, process, and respond with intention, you step into leadership. And leaders attract. People are drawn to those who stay grounded in chaos. Be the calm in the storm, not the storm itself. Your body language is also a massive part of your energy. You can't say you're confident with your shoulders slumped and your eyes down. You can't say you're focused if you're fidgeting and looking at your phone. How you carry yourself speaks louder than your words. Stand tall, make eye contact, move with purpose. Smile genuinely. Own your space. When you do, people take notice. You're sending a nonverbal message that says, I'm here, I'm alive, and I'm worth listening to. Now here's something that will elevate your energy instantly.
Align your actions with your values. When you live out of alignment, doing things just for approval, staying in situations that drain you, saying yes when you want to say no, you create internal friction. That friction weakens your energy. But when your actions reflect your beliefs, when you walk your talk, you radiate integrity. And integrity is magnetic. It builds trust. It creates flow. When you're aligned, you move with less resistance and more confidence, and people feel that. Another way to build powerful energy is through intention. Most people walk through life randomly, reacting to whatever shows up. But magnetic people live on purpose. Before they step into a meeting, they set an intention. Before they make a decision, they ask, does this move me forward? Intentionality creates clarity. It sharpens your presence. When you live with intention, people can feel it. You don't just move, you mean it. And that creates impact. Let's talk about presence. In a distracted world, presence is rare. That's why it's so attractive. When you're truly present, with your thoughts, with people, with your task, you create a force field of attention. You become unforgettable. People feel seen around you. They feel important. And guess what? That makes you important to them. Put your phone down. Look people in the eye. Listen, not just to respond, but to understand. Presence is a gift. It costs nothing, but means everything. A crucial part of magnetic energy is how you speak. Not just the volume, but the intention behind your words. Your voice carries your beliefs. So speak with conviction. Speak with clarity. Don't mumble your vision. Don't whisper your goals. Declare them. Own them. When you believe in what you're saying, others will believe it too. And learn to speak life into others. Celebrate their wins. Acknowledge their efforts. Encourage their dreams. When people leave a conversation with you feeling more powerful, they'll want to come back. Another high-frequency habit is generosity. Not just money, but your time, your attention, your kindness. Give without keeping score. Support others. Share knowledge. Celebrate success, even if it's not yours. When you operate from a mindset of abundance, you don't see others as competition. You become the rising tide that lifts all boats. To sum this up, energy is the real currency of success. The way you show up, the way you carry yourself, the way people feel in your presence. Those things matter more than your resume, your background, or your connections. Because when your energy is right, everything else aligns. You become a magnet for ideas, for people, for progress. So rise with intention, speak with purpose, move with confidence, shine with gratitude, and above all, protect your energy like it's sacred, because it is.